What's good, everyone, and welcome to episode 112 of the Playconomics podcast, where we break down the business behind your favorite and our favorite video games and provide you with sweet financial context for industry trends. I'm one of your hosts, Matt Mascari, and joined with me today, as always, and forever in the future, maybe not after this episode, is Bobby Kawecki. What's going on, my guy? Just kidding. I don't want you to say anything. We're going to very quickly get into the news because we have a massive ABK update for all of you. I know you want us to cover it. Xbox, ABK, what happened? What's going to happen? But first, we're going to get into a little tiny bit of other news. So, first and foremost, the CEO of Unity joins Jim Ryan in the unemployment line. Obviously, after the debacle that happened with the changes in Unity's pricing market, the fact that they had to completely walk it back, change it, and for right now, it looks like an absolutely terrible decision to move forward with that original pricing structure. Their CEO's he retired.
He just got retired?
No. He retired.
Is that the fake headline you're going to go with?
He straight up retired. But just like Jim Ryan, we know it's because he poorly and completely mismanaged his company. Very similar leavings.
Predicated
Bobby,
on the fact that the stock price didn't take a hit?
Yeah. So, Bobby, any issues on Unity?
No, as we've had time to ruminate on Unity, as I balance out my mic here 1 second, as we've had time to, I think this was a big hubbub.
The pricing structure?
No, I think we overshot how big of a deal this was. I think this affected far less people than Jason Schreier and the other activist journalists were giving credit to. I think it was a very small group of games who were like, my pricing, and everyone else, once they learned how to read, including myself, I'll give myself, that this was not even close to as big of a deal as we thought it was.
So you think he got retired because of public perception? Like this was a court of public opinion thing? Like a couple very, very strategic journal articles just can this man. Listen, it happens like that sometimes, and I still think it was definitely hubbub. Like I think the practice, not a great business decision. Do I think they needed drastic changes at the CEO level? I don't think so. I think that he's getting scapegoated here into his retirement, but overall I think a lot of, just like you said, a lot has come out of this that didn't necessarily need to happen, but I think it's because of Unity's slow response and inconsistent response. So if they maybe had managed better how they handled the situation, they wouldn't have come to their CEO leaving. But 2020 hindsight, hindsight's always going to be 2020. We move. Any other Unity thoughts, because we are getting to a good topic at the end. It's going to be a short episode.
Why are you making everybody wait? Just Matt's like Stan's dad in the episode of South Park where they cancel the internet, and he is just ready to unleash a load of green slime all over each and every one of you, because he now has purpose in life. He doesn't have creativity. He doesn't have the ability to ship games, but he has purpose.
I'm pretty sure we're about to ship the best-selling game of the year later on in November. But you can't. Let me tell you something. That is the most credit-taking. You know what? I don't care. Don't care.
Guys, the podcast is over. This is the last episode. I'm telling you, I will cancel the pod. This is the last episode of Playconomics. I'm canceling it. It's over.
What we're going to talk about first.
Savor it while you can.
Later. We'll get into Microsoft later. What we're going to talk about first,
I'm changing.
Second is no.
So the Microsoft thing.
No. We're not doing Microsoft right now. No,
I'll leave the Riverside
because there is.
I am taking over.
Leave the Riverside. I'll do it myself.
We're just unleash ectoplasm upon the audience.
We're going through the show notes.
You'll look like Halle Berry in Drake's album cover.
We're going to cover Assassin's Creed real quick. So Assassin's Creed, I think, is sneaking in the wrong direction. I think while this was
you worked all week on that one, you practiced that one?
100%. While this was a return to form for Assassin's Creed, didn't necessarily hit the mark that it was supposed to. So it got a 7.8 on Metacritic, which would put it roughly 10 out of 13 for the Assassin's Creed franchise. So very low score compared to the other Assassin's Creed. So Bobby, what I want to get your opinion on, with seeing this Metacritic so low, do we think that Assassin's Creed faces more problems than just a return to what they started the franchise with? Or is it just they didn't quite get there with this one?
Let me. Oh my God, I am just
punching the mic, my guy.
Let me explain to you what the boys and girls, frogs and squirrels over at Ubisoft need to do.
Yep.
Each and every person there needs to quit because they were like, "I know what we could do. I know what we could do." This was a conversation. Ready? I'll set the scene. Boardroom in Montreal or whatever other useless city in Canada. Wow. They're like, let's put the Assassin's Creed franchise. Let's give it a break. Let's reboot it. Give it a break. Give it a breather. They did that. People loved Origins, right? Then they immediately were like the next year Odyssey. Then immediately the next year Valhalla. What are these bloated products to just content in people's throats, and they sold really well. I played Valhalla. I loved Odyssey. It was great. And then they were like, what if we gave you the most bare bones version of the things that you're asking for with minimal effort, because we're going to just spin a DLC into a full price release.
Yeah.
And
this is what they got. I agree. When I had read, and I was originally going to get Assassin's Creed Mirage because I was hyped about it going all the way back to the beginning. Same aesthetic, same fact that the hidden blade was actually a part of the game now and not just some feature that you use when you can. And then I read it was a DLC turned into a full game. And if this was a different company, if this wasn't Ubisoft, I maybe would have picked it up anyway and been like, listen, they had a really great idea for a DLC and they spun it into a full game. They did what they needed to do to get it to a full game. I have zero confidence in their ability to ship a product like that at this point, and was 100% as soon as it was like, oh, this was DLC that turned into a full game, was like, okay, this was DLC that I paid full price, that I'm going to be paying full price for.
Well, hold on now, because, you know, Spider-Man Miles Morales, what they did was they were like, hey, here's a DLC that we can make into a full game. And then they made it a 20-hour game.
Yeah. And it's not just about the time, because people are going to get focused on it and say, oh, Assassin's Creed Mirage, you could totally put 20 hours into it. You could do this, and make it 20 hours. It has to be a good 20 hours. And stretching a DLC into 20 hours and making it a full game runtime isn't what we want. We want 20 hours of good, solid, cohesive content. And I'm not seeing that in any of the reviews from Assassin's Creed Mirage. And I did purposefully wait for this game to get reviews so that I could look at them and try to see where things were going with it. And it seems like a lot of the same, where you're like, this was really cool. I'm really excited for this project, but they kind of fumbled the bag with it. And now they have one of the worst rated Assassin's Creed games. And I also think Assassin's Creed games, in the world of where we are with RPGs and open world games, doesn't hold up like it used to. It's at a different genre. The Witcher's come out. We've had Skyrim. Those two games.
Man, if only you had
landscape.
A good release since Assassin's Creed to hold a candle to, but Starfield didn't change the game.
No, Starfield definitely did not change the game. But we've had really, really high quality RPGs since the Assassin's Creed games have done their full journey, and it's just, we hold them to a higher standard. Assassin's Creed is not holding up their end of the bargain at this point. So I'll be getting a pass from me. I know this is going to pit. Actually, the CPA, leave in the comments, how are you liking Assassin's Creed? Because we know you played it, because you play all of them, complete all of them, because you like torturing yourself with mediocre games. Any other thoughts, Bob?
Lest we throw stones in our glass house on torturing ourselves with mediocre games, Matthew.
Well, I've been playing nothing but Baldur's Gate, and Baldur's Gate is fantastic and will win Game of the Year. However, we're going to talk about the PlayStation a little bit because the PlayStation 5 Slim is a scam, and it's the reason why Jim Ryan got fired. Whole take, stop. But let me just give you guys...
So hold on. I just have to stop you right there because we predicate this podcast. Okay, first of all, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Scam.
Okay, you done? Because this is getting tenuous.
Scam.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you mean Jim Ryan, who learned from the playbook of the PS2 Slim, PS3 Slim, PS4 Slim, he came up with the PS5 Slim?
Scam.
No, I need you to address it. Did he come up?
Rhetorical. Oh, I have a whole cohesive thought if you'll let me get through a sentence.
No, because you're going to say some nonsense like it's a scam.
Okay, so continue.
It's the mid-gen refresh we all knew was coming. I think the losing and the addition of the disk drive is silly. I mean, we just saw this week Best Buy said they're going to move to digital only, right? Like they're phasing out physical media at Best Buy. Let me put my mic right here. I think that the price you're getting with more storage, better design, I don't see any problems with this because it's not like they're keeping the regular PS5 in rotation. They're phasing it out. So it's like you're phasing it out and you're giving us a better product at the same price. Okay?
It's not the same price.
As what?
Compare the prices of the PS5 digital to the PS5 Slim digital.
Yes, it's $50 more. So it's the same price as the entry level PS5 is what I'm saying.
The PS5 is currently $499.
Okay, so the disc-based PS5 is the more expensive one. That's the one I have.
Yes.
Okay, so it's just giving you the price of the best model. We I'm sorry. We can't sit here and hem and haw about, games should be $80. Games are going to be this, without understanding that the price of inflation applies to all goods.
All I'm saying.
Okay, is this a scam?
Can I get my thought?
Yes, get your fake fucking thought out.
So
we do this every week for what? For what?
I'm just saying. What? For fucking comedic gold. That's what we do it for. So let me give you some prices of the current PS5 that we have out right now. PS5 disc drive. Put the disc in, completely dedicated, $499. PS5 digital, no disc drive, $399. PS5 Slim with the disc drive, $499. PS5 Slim digital, $449. So now you're cutting off your cheapest and most entry-level way to enjoy your video games for what? Less product? Slimmer product? I don't agree with it. Not saying it's wrong. Not saying they made a poor decision. Not saying this specifically is why Jim Ryan got fired. I'll get into that in a second. But it seems underhanded. I don't like having a product phased out for more or less the same product at a higher price. And that's what they're doing here. They're selling you a digital version of the PS5 that plays PS5 games in the same way, same form, minimal changes for $50 more. You now have to, if you want to experience PS5 games, you have to pay $50 more for your console now. And I think it's silly. I don't think
technically in real money due to inflation, you're paying the same amount.
No.
Yes. That's
No, because you can currently buy a PS5 digital for $399.
But
so you take off the cost of inflation for that.
So which would you rather than do? An updated model with more storage at $50 more, or not change anything and increase the price because they have to on margins?
They're losing margins on this anyway. Stop it. They should have released the digital at $399. There's no way around it. I just fundamentally disagree that they should have raised the price on the digital, because if there was any reason to raise the price, they would have done it on the disc drive one. Why are they okay with eating the loss on the disc drive one, but not the digital version? It doesn't make any sense.
Because why did the digital go more? Let me explain this to you, Mr. MBA.
What? Why did the digital go up in price and the disc drive didn't?
You gonna listen?
Why? Yeah, go for it.
Because of the rips that they have to cut, the rips that they have to count on the digital store that they don't then have to count on physical media.
They don't count that in it. They do not take that in consideration. Everyone, even if you have a disk drive, you're
They
buying your
don't take
games
that into
digital.
consideration.
No.
What are you saying?
Everyone buys their games digital. You can have a disk drive. It's because you have one game that you play on disk drive because you buy the Steelbook or you're throwing DVDs or something into the game. It is not to buy your collection of PS5 games hard copy. Stop.
But it's not about the collector. It's about the monies made on the people who buy them, which for a vast majority of people, I would argue is still physical.
No, it's not. The vast majority of games sold are digital, and everybody knows that. That's it. And there's no shot that it's a drastic enough profit margin and a drastic enough difference in the PS5's disc drive versus the PS5 digital. There is not a vast enough difference to warrant a $50 price increase. Absolutely insane. Whether or not you want to do it, that's fine. Like, account for inflation. Do it. Whatever you want. Should have been either across both or none. Doing it on the digital, you're just increasing the barrier of entry to get your product to other people. So I disagree fundamentally with the decision. We'll see how it plays out. They're probably going to sell more consoles than Xbox anyway, so who cares? However, I'm deeply concerned about how much COVID affected PlayStation. Because all we have seen, all the major updates for the last year regarding Sony and PlayStation have been hardware, no software, no games, no actual deliverable product that people are going to want to get into this ecosystem for. And I say that with the caveat of that is why I think Jim Ryan left and was ushered out. Not necessarily fired, obviously, because he did retire, but they have all of this hardware. Where is the software? Why did all of the software get delayed? But we're still cranking out hardware. Like, it's in my opinion, a super bad look to have 2 new versions of the PS5. PS5 Pro talks in PS5 Pro talks. PSVR 2, PS5 Portal, all of this stuff with no games on it yet. So I'm looking and hoping for a very, very good 2024 from Sony because all I've seen for the last 2 years is hardware.
Here's my point of no return. And I think they need to say something before the end of the year. I think they have to, because this is one of the few times you foot-loving, One Piece adoring human, I say that lightly. Yeah, they're conspicuously quiet. And there's only 2 things. Either they know exactly what we want and they're going to give it to us good and hard before the end of the year. Or it's a lot of live servicey bullshit that they're not quite sure how to craft the messaging around yet, and they know people won't be as receptive to it as they'd like. So they're just waiting. But I think either way, they have to say something by the end of the year. It's I mean, at October 21, the day after Spider-Man releases, so a week from today, a little more, the clock is on. Because then it's like, all right,
next?
We know and have played everything.
What else is next? So,
can I paint you my dream slate here?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, so we get Final Fantasy Reunion in February, March, I want to say.
Yeah.
Early winter, midwinter.
Yes, Q1.
Helldivers in February, just second party. It's not Helldivers is not going to be this earth-shattering live service thing, right?
No, it's going to be a cool game though. I think it's gonna be a cool game for Sony to have because they lack on the shooter front, and I think this is going to be a cool Sony exclusive first person shooter for them.
Well, it's third person, number one. Number two,
whatever.
What I'd like to see next year, Sucker Punch has to be ready. Sucker Punch has to be ready. Right? If we got next year at any point Ghost 2,
mm-hmm.
Who else hasn't gone? Like, again, Naughty Dog hasn't gone in a while. So are we going to see factions?
It doesn't look like it. It does not look like it.
The only rock I can throw in this machine actually has nothing to do with Sony.
Okay.
And that's GTA 6.
Yeah, but you can't count that for them.
But again, that's this game of chicken that they're playing, where they're like almost hoping that it comes out, because it's like you're not going to send a product out to die anyway, and you know it's going to move units for you one way or the other. So it's like,
oh, so you think they're waiting to time slot around GTA 6?
Like Red Dead was October. Red Dead was October. Though. But that's my thing, is like, when it's been almost 10, like, is it or is it not? Like, I would have bet money that we would have seen it by now, in not that leaked form.
No, I think it's going to be in 2025 that we get that content, and I think it's going to be end 20. Like, I think we're going to see something about GTA 6 in 2024 and then get it in 2025. But
look, my dream slate.
Your dream slate's bare.
No, if I had to pick, it's my realistic version of this is as follows. Mm-hmm. Ghost next year, Death Stranding, Wolverine. I think that's a realistic release schedule for next year in terms of just big once a quarter. I know Santa Monica's working on something else, but how ready is that? I don't think we're going to see a Horizon 3 before maybe that'll be the swan song, if anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they would send another Horizon to get, you can't do Horizon 3 dirty. Like, Horizon 1 got shafted, Horizon 2 got shafted. Horizon 3 is going to be your swan song at the end of a content drought?
No, I think at the end of the life cycle is what I'm saying. I think that next year, if I had to put my chips forward in terms of people who I think might be ready, Wolverine, Death Stranding, Ghost 2, whatever that is.
If that comes out, are you good with that?
Hell yeah.
Okay. So let me give you my opinion on why I think Sony's been so quiet. Sony was waiting, and this will transition into our next topic. Sony was waiting for Microsoft to finish its purchase of ABK.
Could be very true. Could 100% be true.
Because they need media right now. Because everyone and their mother is talking about the fact that Xbox now owns everything from ABK. And you can debate on how good of a purchase that was. We've talked ad nauseum on this podcast.
I refuse to discuss it anymore.
Yeah. Like, King was what they were after. King is what they got. And then they got some notable IP that they'll try to do something with. And they got yearly releases in Call of Duty now. Like, that is what they got from this. But most people don't see it that way. Most people see this as a huge, ridiculous win for Xbox as a console. And I kind of understand it. I see it more of a win for Microsoft as they added some revenue on a yearly basis, and the microtransaction revenue from King. Less so for a win for Xbox console gamers. With that said, I think Sony was waiting for this purchase to go through. They have their 2024 lineup. They have what they're going to give you for 2024. And they've been sitting on it for the better half of 3 months because they thought this deal was going to go through in the summer, which would have been where their mega showcase was. But instead, they gave us a bunch of third-party live service crap for the showcase that happened around E3. The E3
where we first saw Helldivers.
June. Yeah. So that's why I think they held off on that, because they wanted something to answer the ABK acquisition, because that's what Xbox was going to show, obviously. So I think this is a shrewd media war to get good media coverage. I think by the end of October, we get something from Sony, or we get it at the Game Awards, and Sony comes out swinging at the Game Awards with a Q1 release, Q2 or 3 release, and a Q4 game to expect. That's what I hope for Sony. And I think that's
reasonable.
By their track record. I think they have too much hardware to not
to
have
capitalize
some
on it.
Like, they have so much hardware to not give you content. And if we don't see anything by the end of the year, 2024 is going to suck. It's going to be
rough.
It is going to be a bad PlayStation year. But you heard what I said. You heard that I said that the Xbox Activision Blizzard King acquisition went through, something that was predicted on this podcast by this podcast host in January 2022, before anyone even discussed it. I
still find that the most miraculous thing you've ever done.
Right? Tweeted it on like January 4th. Microsoft buys Activision, Blizzard, and King. And I was right. They announced it like 18 days later, because me and Philly Spence go way back. We were cellmates back in the day on his first atrocity that he committed. But we're going to talk about
so many bits. I have so many good bits I've been making. I just can't.
I'm going to open this segment up with complete fanboyism.
Okay.
Because I want one thing, and Phil Spencer, I'm talking directly to you right now. I want one thing. I want World of Warcraft on console.
I hope he never gives it to you.
I have ridden with this console for too long. We have done this whole legal battle, and I never wavered. I believed in you. I believed in Xbox, and I need Xbox to believe in me, and I need World of Warcraft on console, and I need it by the end of 2025. Now, with that said,
seems a little desperate.
Xbox now has the best-selling game every single year, starting in 2024, because we already purchased them. So but it is now an Xbox game.
You have the most played.
Whatever,
because
don't care.
No. No one actually will buy it.
Are you telling me right now that nobody's going to buy? Oh, because it'll be on Game Pass now.
Because it's not real.
Don't care. We have Call of Duty, and that's all I give a shit about. And we have a lot of mobile games. And I guess we have Overwatch, fantastic live service game that's going to be generating revenue for years to come. We got World of Warcraft that literally prints money, dwindling money over the last couple of years, but prints it 110%. Going to see a StarCraft Reborn, 100% guaranteed. And honestly, now I'm going to get hyper realistic and very, very anti-fanboy. Xbox. I don't want anything, but we are the king, and content until the end of the Xbox Series era. This better be good, because we know you're not delivering on anything ABK until the next generation. We don't see a single thing from ABK major until after the next console generation. So for the Xbox Series, this purchase did nothing. We'll get revenue based on Call of Duty and based on Overwatch. Everything is outside of there. There are no more excuses, Xbox.
And yet they'll find them.
You have some of the most beloved game. You have some of the most beloved game IP ever created, and they're in-house. Next console generation should be an easy win. should be an absolute easy win, and anything but complete domination next generation with the state that Sony is currently in, and with the 2024 that we have lined up. We got, hold on. I Googled it.
Sure
we got
Hellblade
2, and Clockwork Revolution, aka
BioShock Infinite
again. Don't care. Those 2 games, plus whatever else you're going to deliver. There's a couple other not as big budget games that are coming out that look fantastic. You have a fantastic opportunity to go back to the 360 era. And God damn it, if you don't do it, I'm going to be so pissed. I'm going to be so pissed.
I just know they're going to let you down, and I can't wait for that to happen.
There is no shot that we do not have the firepower to compete with anyone in the video game industry for the rest of time. We should win the next console generation.
But you're not.
Sony is in bad for the next year. You need to deliver. Hellblade 2 needs to be fantastic. Clockwork Revolution needs to be fantastic. There are no more 70s and 80s that come out of Xbox games.
Okay, enough self-aggrandizing.
No.
What if you do?
No.
What if you do? What if you do? What if nothing changes?
I don't play them. Can't do it. You can't. I'm gonna regret saying this because I'm never gonna hear the end of this. We needed to deliver on what Starfield was supposed to be. That could never happen again, Xbox.
Was it not?
Never.
Or was it exactly what we knew it was going to be?
It was exactly what I was hoping. It was exactly what everyone thought it was going to be. And it should have been better. And we can't have that again. It's not a bad game, but you can't hype it up for the last 4 years and have it be not a bad game. There are no more excuses, Xbox. We own everything you could possibly need. We own Call of Duty. We own microtransaction City of King to cash flow you into whatever you want. We own Minecraft. We own everything. Win. W's. And if by 2026...
Wow. 2 years, huh?
The Xbox ecosystem is not different, Phil Spencer needs to go. And replace him with Bobby Kotick. Also, since I mentioned Bobby Kotick, can we talk about how that man is still here and everyone has forgotten about all of the atrocities that he's done and all of the HR violations that man has given? Because hot damn,
what did I tell you? It
seems like nobody knows anymore.
What did I tell you was going to happen? What they were going to put? Bobby, take a vacation. Bobby, go to an island, yell at a cocktail waitress in a different country. You'll be fine. This is what they told him at the board meeting. And he said, okay, Phil, coming for your seat, pal.
Yep. No, I think he's going to head up.
Let me just tell you, just like you called
the
acquisition, who was the first person to say
Bobby Kotick for president?
That top G is not going anywhere. Because guess what? Phil Spencer has not shipped a single one of his own games. Todd Howard, to his credit, Mr. Next in charge of WoW, moved the ball most of the way down the field on Starfield. Let's call this what it is.
I know, but Xbox doesn't get credit for any of the studios that they purchase, so it'll never.
Fine. 343. How was Halo whatever? Bad.
Their multiplayer was abysmal. The actual campaign of the game was fantastic.
Well, who gives? No, nobody's talking about that anymore. You want somebody who's going to come in, look at the room and say, weak link, no, move this, ship this, change that. It ain't Philly Spence.
Listen. This is my defense of Phil Spencer.
I'm not, hold on, to be clear,
No,
because this will get, hold on, I need to see why. I don't support anything Bobby Kotick has been accused of doing. I don't think he's a good dude. I think in a zeros and ones business perspective, Bobby Kotick is a better operator than Phil Spencer.
Okay, let me rebut that. In defense of Phil Spencer and his rightful leadership of Xbox, Jim Ryan, his main contemporary, unemployed. Bobby Kotick, the person that you were saying will replace him, literally ran his company into a ground where the only option was for it to get purchased. And we both came on this podcast when the deal was looking shaky and saying, what the hell is going to happen to ABK if this deal doesn't go through? Because they're going to have to sell it for parts. So you can say that Bobby Kotick can ship a game and in ones and zeros, he's going to win. He literally ran his company into the ground.
To be clear, he did not do it because the product became bad. People who hate Call of Duty, it's not a good game, but people buy Call of Duty. The blood in the water over ABK was all interpersonal. Had nothing to do with the product.
Yes, it did.
Call of Duty is the #1 selling game every single year.
Call of Duty is not the problem. Overwatch, hot garbage for the better half of a decade. World of Warcraft, hemorrhaging subscriptions. Went from about 10 million to it's estimated around it's estimated about 1.5 to 2 million people and has literally been run into the ground under Bobby Kotick. People are pissed at the product of Call of Duty. It's just the #1 video game ever. So people will continue to buy it because all of their friends play it because they've invested so much time into it. Literally all of his products have depreciated over his role, like over his run as leader of ABK. Like this narrative that he's such a shrewd operator. Why is he selling his company then?
Because he's a shrewd operator.
No, stop it. The company's underwater.
Why did Logan Roy sell Waystar Royco? Because
stop it.
Bobby Kotick and Logan Roy are the same person.
No.
Yes.
Stop it.
You haven't even seen Succession. He
ran
fan.
ABK. He ran ABK into the ground.
The thumbnail of this episode, is
it running into the ground.
Is Bobby Kotick and Logan Roy I'm going to AI generate this right after.
Oh my god. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Phil Spencer has his job. Jim Ryan doesn't. Bobby Kotick literally ran his company into a point where it was purchased or liquidated.
Let's get to the meat of this. No one cares. Tell me about Guitar Hero and James Corden, because this was a psychotic move.
Do you understand how many people I texted when they teased that fucking Guitar Hero was coming back? This is about to be... I'm going to call it right now. Between now and 2030 will be the new golden age of video games. We are going to see everything under the sun because ABK now has the golden ticket, the parachute, all of the money that Microsoft can throw at it to make everyone's favorite games as good as possible, and all they have to do is deliver. Make World of Warcraft better, throw it on PC Game Pass so that people subscribe to it, no more subscription based. Overwatch, fix it. Like, come on, stop it. Fix Overwatch. Call of Duty, honestly, Bobby's right. You don't really have to change anything. You could ship a bad game every year.
You could just sell them the same game.
Yeah, the biggest concern I have about Call of Duty is that they're taking it to 1 every other year now, and then we're losing the revenue on 2 games. Like, fuck off. Like, just make it every year. Nobody cares. Like, would anyone really be like, oh yeah, we want Madden to be Madden 2023 and then 2025? No, you want a new Madden every year. There's only so much they could do in a year. Stop it. If you want Call of Duty every year, this is what it's going to be like, and stop buying it. Stop buying it. And we'll never know if they buy it because it'll be on Game Pass now. Game Pass numbers about to skyrocket as soon as Call of Duty goes on there, right?
Let's see.
And it's borderline live service because people are playing that multiplayer at all times. Playing it at all times. You're going to need the subscription every single month. 100%. Love the purchase. But they need to deliver. They need to keep delivering. I'm loving where Xbox is right now. I love their 2024 lineup. I know they're going to throw in this and that, but
I literally have nothing to say to this other than the man had James Corden interview him. Of all the people.
Yeah, interesting choice, but I don't like him, so I don't really care.
Hold on, I'm trying to generate Activision CEO Bobby. Let's see what major Bobby Kotick smashing an Xbox Series X with a hammer. All right, let's see what AI is going to do with that. Here's my thing. You get James Corden to interview and you tease the next Guitar Hero game. First of all, that we are heading for a recession and you want people to be like, I need plastic guitars in my house.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're heading for a recession and you want people to buy a whole new PS5, a PSVR 2 and a PS Portal? Stop it.
What are you gonna do if
don't
it just
give
sells...
me that shit?
Well,
don't
look,
give me that
I
shit.
would argue, as much joke as I make, games are not recession proof, but people lose their jobs. A lot of people stay home and play video games. We saw it during 07, 08. We saw it during COVID. Booms, hardware and software.
I'm not going to disagree. They're not recession proof. Obviously, nothing is fully recession proof, but video games are a relatively cheap hobby. What did you get the AI result back? Is that what it is? Can't wait to see it as a thumbnail. Can't wait to see it as a thumbnail.
So good.
Can't wait. But sure. Are you just putting it in a video? You're not going to save it for the thumbnail? Or are you throwing it to me in Discord?
It's so good. Hold on, I paused. I'm going to Discord it to you because I need your reaction live. Oh, I'm so perfect.
I want you to pull something else.
No, I just need you to...
I love it.
I wish it. Is that not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
It's good.
Oh, look, I made several variations.
But I want you to do something for me. And then we're going to get into some viewer questions because there's a solid viewer question this week.
This year?
I need you to play the I Told You song.
Uh-huh.
I need you to play it because what did I do? What did I do, Bobby? What did I do on January 4th? I'll go back on our Twitter and find it and send it to you.
This is an ad for Assassin's Creed Mirage. This isn't a song. Hold on.
God damn it. I need you to play it. Because guess what? Just
end the episode already. We got stuff to do. Hold on. The ad's still playing.
Knew it would happen and we told you.
I told you. I told you. I told you it would go through. I told you. And it went through. They made the purchase. They secured one of the greatest video games of all time. They secured the entirety of the mobile game market. And they secured fantastic leverage for xCloud and PC Game Pass. And I'm hyped about it. And then we're going to go into, to close the show, a viewer question. The viewer question this week is by Pete. The question is, could you stop the JFK assassination with a team of 6 Pokemon? Which one? Which 6?
Okay, so three whale lords.
3 whale lords in the car? In the car with him?
Next to him, in front of him. So you're not going to shoot through a whale lord.
Yeah, and like it's Nintendo, so we're just going to let them float alongside it. They don't need water for this.
Rayquaza.
Okay.
Metagross.
Okay.
Tyranitar.
Okay. Why Tyranitar?
Could you imagine Tyranitar just taking a bite out of Lee Harvey Oswald? Because I can. At the book repository, Metagross just meteor mashing himself through the building. Come on.
That's fair. All right, so the one that I have for you is a Metachan with skill swap and a Chespin with bulletproof. You skill swap the bulletproof to JFK, problem solved. He's now bulletproof. Takes no damage from projectiles. And he's done. The number one answer on Discord was 6 Ditto.
They're all Lee Harvey Oswald?
No, they're all JFK, and you hope for the best.
Oh, I guess. I've just asked Midjourney. I'm not going to tell you what I asked it to create me. But I hope it's done before we bring this nonsense in for a landing.
Well, we are going to bring this nonsense into a landing because I want you guys to all go get your favorite ABK game. Look it up. It's Call of Duty. I know. Or Candy Crush for everyone 50 plus that watches this podcast. And I want you to go play it. And I want you to go play it for me. And I want you to remember that Xbox now owns that game. And probably the next time you swipe up and open Candy Crush, it's going to be an Xbox logo on that bad boy. And I can't wait for the day. But like this video, hit that notification bell, and don't you forget to subscribe for the hottest, the most broken down, and financial contact related video game news of all time. And remember, as always,
happy gaming.